I someone shared with me a piece of writing about differentiating borderline personality disorder with narcissistic personality disorder, and I've talked about this here and there sporadically. Um, I try to stay away from this subject, but I think it was a good piece of writing because sometimes it helps to consider it. Um, but I don't think there's a perfect science to it. Um, I remember two people in my past believing that I was on the borderline. My ex-husband, and I thought he had NPD. And then I remember when I joined an empath group in New Jersey, and the lead of the group, I got close to her, and we used to hang out often and talk and go out. And eventually she feared getting close to me. Um, then she said I had borderline personality disorder. So we went from being an empath to having BPD. And I don't necessarily like to entertain it too much, just because I don't know. I don't know if that helps. But someone shared this writing with me, and the lady followed me back, and I felt really honored that she followed me back. She has the core space on the borderline. So, but then I'll close it out with something that kind of made me shy away from this whole topic in general. To Richard Grannon, which will be triggering, but it's out there. It's out there. I've been researching covert NPD and BPD, and I'm having a hard time distinguishing the difference. Both are cluster B, but are similar and often comorbid. Are there any stark differences between them? Yes, people with BPD have empathy, often quite strong empathy. People with NPD usually lack the capacity for empathy. Most people with BPD consciously have deep feelings of insecurity, inferiority, and generally feel worthless. People with NPD believe they are special and unique and deserve admiration. People with BPD have intense emotions and struggle to control and regulate them. People with NPD have more superficial emotions and are driven more by ego. People with borderline can become psychotic for a short period of time if they become extremely overwhelmed and have no escape. Conversely, people with NPD can have what's called a narcissistic collapse when their public image is threatened and they are exposed. This can result in destructive rage and revenge or isolation and self-destruction. At the core, people with borderline are driven by a fear of abandonment, and people with NPD are driven by a need for admiration and a sense of grandiosity. I could see the fear of abandonment in me, but I've learned to recognize it. I'll share something also that that just came to mind at the end. Most people with borderline can admit when they are wrong. People with narcissistic personality disorder never genuinely admit when they're wrong. While not every person with borderline is self-aware, many can learn to be and thus take responsibility for themselves. People with NPD lack insight and rarely understand that something is wrong with them. People with NPD don't have friends. They have supply. They won't hesitate to drop a friend if they stop giving them their supply. People with borderline may struggle with friendships because of their neediness, insecurity, or the tendency for acting out, but they are capable of having true reciprocal friendships. People with BPD don't feel worthy. People with NPD don't feel like others are worthy of them. All right, so I'm going to close it out with Richard talking about empaths or borderlines, and then and then something I read this morning.
There's no such thing as an empath. If you believe you're an empath, please get off my page. Please stay away from me. Please never consume any of my material, because the idea that anybody would ever benefit from my material whilst identifying as an empath makes me physically sick. I don't like the idea of people walking around being codependent and being proud of it. I don't like the idea of people walking around telling themselves that they're an empath when actually they probably have borderline personality disorder. If you go to an empath Facebook community, you will feel the bristle, you'll feel the hackles rising, you'll feel the threat, and it will come through the like, oh hi, how are you, and welcome to our forum where we are empaths. Here's Becky and here's fucking Karen. You'll feel it, you'll know. But you can see the way it's written. It's I'll do that video one day, and then I'll get bombarded by borderlines, and then we collectively will create the punk band Bombarded by Borderlines. It's even fun to say. It's the alliteration, Bombarded by Borderlines. Bombarded by Borderlines. I mean, what empaths are basically claiming is that they have like psychic powers. Yeah, you've probably got hypervigilant. You're traumatized. You've got at the very least PTSD, and most likely complex PTSD, and you're hypervigilant to the needs of others. That's not good. That's not a good thing, that you can feel other people's feelings, or you think you can, or that you're constantly obsessed with the emotional temperature of the people around. That, dude, leave people the fuck alone. It's exhausting. It's exhausting. It's exhausting. Nobody tells these people, hey, what you're doing is really annoying. Well, probably because it just wouldn't go over very well, and we know that. We know we get bombarded by borderlines. Blitzkrieg by borderline. It wouldn't go over very well, but it's exhausting, right? I'm not pulling this out my ass. We all know what it's like. It's hard. It's really, really hard being around people like this. But they think that they're on some high level, you know, they're on some spiritual shit, man. They just feel it. They just know. They just have like the third eye is open. These are people who make wild declarations, just fucking audacious declarations about their spiritual advancement. They are probably on the spectrum for borderline personality disorder. Or you could say, at the very least, they're highly emotionally dysregulated. They're deeply traumatized people with an extremely labile sense of self, very turbulent interpersonal relationships, probably got a propensity to self-destructive behavior, and quite entitled and exploitative. And if you take all those words that I just gave you and put them together in a pie, that pie will be called Bombarded by Borderlines. Bombarded by Borderlines. Bombarded by Borderlines. Bombarded by Borderlines. There's no such thing as an empath. If you believe you're an empath, please get off my page. Please stay away from me. Please never consume any of my material, because the idea that anybody would ever benefit from my material whilst identifying as an empath makes me physically sick. Bombarded by Borderlines.
Why do my fears keep resurfacing no matter how much I try to stay positive? The shadows don't disappear just because you chase the light. Every fear, every wound, every truth you've buried waits for you in the dark corners of your subconscious, and they grow louder each time you turn away. They don't hunt you to hurt you, they hunt you to be seen. If your subconscious could talk, it would say something like, I'm not here to hurt you. I'm here to finish your emotional narrative, which is crucial to make you feel whole and secure. Stop running. Let me process what you buried. At some point, you stop running. You turn around. You face the teeth, the fire, the pain, the rage of what you thought would devour you. And in that moment, you realize It was never there to kill you. It was there to free you. The demons become teachers. The wolves become guardians. The shadows dissolve when you stand still long enough to say, I see you. I feel you. That's where real power begins. Not in escaping the dark, but facing it. What you fear isn't here to kill you. It's here to free you. Written by Omar.